Well, earlier this week, we told you about a new camp for grieving families opening in Massachusetts called the Comfort Zone Camp. That is the first ever national bereavement camp for children and families who have lost a loved one, with a mission to break down the societal stigma that surrounds grief, while ensuring that kids have the knowledge early on to process the loss of a loved one. Joining us now, we have Krista Colopy, former camper and now senior regional director at the camp. Krista, thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand you were once a camper yourself. What led you there, and how did you and your family discover the camp?
Yeah, my dad died when I was 9 years old from a brain tumor, but I didn't know anyone who had lost another parent until my mom and I was 16 at the time, walking through a street fair, saw a sign that said Comfort Zone Camp, a fun and safe place for grieving kids. And I said, wait, I think I belong there. And then my mom signed me up for the camp. And as the camp got closer that fall, it's just a weekend camp, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I started to get really nervous. A whole weekend away without my friends and family, just to cry in the woods about my dead dad? Wait, I don't know if I want to do this. This sounds really nerve-wracking. And then I get to camp, I meet my big buddy, one-to-one, who loves basketball just like I do, and we start to form a connection. And then all of a sudden, I meet all these other kids. And again, I was a little nervous, but then we sit down and we hear someone share their story about who died in their family. And it was a 19-year-old girl, and she shared the story about how her dad died when she was 9 from a brain tumor. And in that moment, I truly felt like I was no longer alone, and I had a place where people could understand what I'd been through.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. How has the camp impacted your life and your career? Because it sounds like it was a really pivotal moment for you to be there.
I remember sitting on that bench and hearing that girl, Hannah, share her story. And from that moment, I knew that I was meant to be here in this at this camp. And I looked at the person running the camp program, and I just saw that, wow, I actually want to be them one day. And that's what I turned out. I went to the nonprofit sector and I became that person. And now I get to do camp after camp in front of all of these kids and just know and be able to show them that their loss doesn't have to define them. Just because they've experienced a death in their life, they can go out and do amazing things. And it's been just such an amazing way that I can honor my dad.
An incredible full circle moment for you, really, to go there as a camper and to come back in the role that you are now. So explain a little bit, what does a weekend look like at this camp, just so kids and parents could understand what they might be doing?
Yeah, so we invite kids from the families show up on a Friday, and they show up and get matched one-to-one with a volunteer based on personality and interests. So you have a buddy, a mentor, and a friend. And then you get to go and meet other kids in your age-based groups. So I got to meet other 16-year-olds. So our camp ranges from ages 7 to 18. And we bring these kids completely free of charge, which was a game changer for me, having no cost to attend this camp program. As my mom was on disability, we wouldn't have been able to afford it. And throughout the weekend, they get to learn how to talk about who died in their family. And they also get to learn healthy coping skills so they can build a box of resources that they can take with them after they leave the camp program. We're all about setting them up for success so that when they leave the camp, they have some resources of, what do I do when I have that anniversary? What do I do when I'm mad or when I'm angry? They have healthy coping skills that they can take with them so they can lead a more resilient life after a tragedy.
We know that there's the upcoming camp in Palmer this fall. How can people get involved or sign up, even if they want to volunteer or they actually want their child to attend camp?
We're so excited to offer the Palmer Camp on September 26th to the 28th in Palmer, Massachusetts. And it is easy to register. You just go to comfortzonecamp.org and fill out an application. And if you're motivated to volunteer, we'd love to have you as well. We have an upcoming volunteer training. Get trained for 4 hours. You're trained for life, and you can volunteer at any camp based on your availability. It's a weekend where you can truly have changed someone's life, and then your life yourself. If you've gone through a loss, a death of a parent, a sibling, a primary guardian, come to Comfort Zone Camp. Find your Comfort Zone Camp family. We're here to help you, and together we can lift that heaviness of grief.
Krista, thank you so much for chatting with us. You are doing such important work.
Thank you for covering our story.